Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you're being creepy again. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. We usually delve into a lot of painting talk, as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So, first-time viewers, be warned. We can go off on some pretty long rants, as it were. Yeah. And of course, if you are not watching this live and you're watching this after the fact, you can submit your questions to Kris at Way of the Brush. It is in the description below. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send it off as links to other sites because it's annoying. And so you can, and feel free to share whatever, even just work in progress, or you have a question, or you want to show off what you're working on. Whatever it is, I am accepting and welcoming of all. Of course, in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness, has links to all the social medias, as well as Discord. Discord's been fantastic. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there 24/7. Jeez Louise. Sir Peanut Butter. That scared the crap out of me. I forgot I adjusted that that over on Twitch. Oh, I forgot to turn the chat on. Jeez Louise. Everybody's talking now. So anyway, join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there, and it's a lot of fun. Of course, also at wayofthebrush.com is links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. And of course, on the site, you'll also find a link for Patreon support. I'm independent these days. It's how I keep this channel going. It is pretty much the only thing I'm doing. So all my time and energy goes towards creating videos and streaming and all this. So if you want to help support the channel and help me continue to do what I do, that's how one of the best ways to go about doing it. So, and of course I have varying tiers of support, and from just simple contributions to much more elaborate, and of course there are perks and such with those various tiers as well. And of course, if you're not able to support the channel, i.e. by money, you can thumb up the video, liking, following, subscribing, ringing the bell, and all that other social media stuff and YouTube and Twitch stuff. That all helps the channel tremendously as well. And all it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out tremendously. So, big thank you. Big thank you to Carl. God rest his soul. Taking the time out of his busy time to create the email jingles that play before the email segments of the show. Carl's no longer with us, so we always say thank you, and say a prayer for the guy too, right? And hold him dear in our hearts. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. Hold him dear in our hearts. And of course, holding people dear in our hearts, and much love, of course, is my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays the beginning end of the show. And if you're into comics and rarities and stuff like that, check him out, ebcomics.com. Find him on Instagram and other social media platforms, stuff like that, selling rare comics. If you're into comics, which I know I'm probably sure a great deal of you. I used to be big into comics, but not so much these days. Not since I was a teenager. Was I into comics? But X-Men was my jam way back in the day. Speaking of jam, Ebb and Flow, sup everybody? Mitch Bronson, bonjour. Ghost of Starman Deluxe, hi Kris and Monkeys, hi. Mitch, I am now on a Warhound. You're on a Warhound? Like you're riding a Warhound? Well, you gotta send me a picture of that. You on a Warhound? Come on. Saleswoman from Hell, what Kris is saying is, Kris is going to start talking about penis again. It usually doesn't take long for us to delve into penis talk. Yeah. We'll talk about penis. If you want to talk about penis, yeah, we talk about penis. Big ones, short ones. Johnny Chop Shop, good morning, everyone. Let the monkey business begin. Salesman Phil, so watch out. James of Kent, afternoon Kris, afternoon everyone, afternoon James of Kent. Sir Peanut Butter, morning Kris and Peeps, morning. Scott Radum, got the stickers and dice, thanks man, awesome. Now I have been meaning, and I've been really lax as usual, about basically an update for all the patrons, because I shipped out a big order of dice for all the patrons, and of course I threw in stickers. The big thank you to Jabba's Left Nut for making that happen, and I also threw in a special little bundle of just 4 stickers for. And I've been meaning to make a Patreon post, but since a bunch of you are watching this anyway, that is for Project Monkey Mayhem. Those 4 little stickers. I think what we should do, and I'll make a video on this, I'm sure, is use the hashtag Project Monkey Mayhem if you ever use those stickers on anything. Anything. It could be anything. And in fact, the more devious, I don't know if we'll do it like a competition type thing, but I mean, somebody who uses it very clever and gets a really great image using those stickers, I would feel very compelled to reward such ingenuity. So, you know, we'll leave it at that, as it were. Goes to Starman Deluxe. Delve into penis. Ouch. Yeah, well, I mean, like, you know, we usually delve into a lot of crazy talk. We talk about, painting and what's under the sun, and I think penis falls into the category of, well, kind of both, really, because remember there was that one cat who was painting with his penis? There was a cat. He was painting canvas work. He wasn't painting miniatures. That'd be embarrassing. Yeah, I can paint miniatures with my penis. Anyway, yeah, there was a guy, and he was painting. He was doing art with his penis, and so yeah. I mean, we can talk penis painting, or we can just talk regular old penis. We don't even have to. It doesn't even have to be, penises. It could be all genitalia if we like. I don't know. I don't discriminate. Dark Commission. Hi, Kris and Monkeys. Hi, Dark Commission. So, did you guys catch the stream this morning from Games Workshop, the Warhammer community team? They did the, it's Happy Indominus Day. Indominus? I don't know why I get tripped up on that word all the time. But, yeah, so everybody's getting their Indominus sets. I know there's some people who's probably not getting them right away, but everybody's able to dive into them and, start playing around. And, of course, they're getting the rule book. They're getting a little... Space Marines, they're getting their Necrons, and everybody's all excited, and I'm glad. I'm glad we're finally there. The hype train has arrived at its destination. I'm glad for that. Of course, now we're all at the station, and we're looking to board the next hype train, right? And we're at the transfer station right now, and we're looking to get onto the next hype train. And speaking of hype trains. Which I don't think there's anything wrong with. I know it gets kind of annoying after a while. People are like, oh my god, can people please shut up about this? Let's talk about something else, right? And I think that's kind of a sour grapes kind of thing, but that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, some people are just, counterculture, I suppose, right? Which is fine. I get it. But when and if, and it better be sooner than later, but when Games Workshop starts... hyping up new Eldar. Oh, you bet your sweet monkey ass I'm going to be riding that train. I'm going to be right on the front. I'm going to be that guy in Fury Road, the guy who's playing the guitar with the flamethrower and everything like that. I'm going to be that idiot. I'll be right on the front of that train with the flamethrower and the loud music and the big pointy ears and yeah. So whenever that train rolls around, you bet your ass I'll be riding that train. But mind you, though, I mean, this Indominus set, I really like it. I mean, I haven't even touched the Space Marines yet. I mean, they're cool. Don't get me wrong. They're cool. They're Space Marines, right? I mean, like, the Shield Guard dudes are pretty cool. It's a really great box set. But I've been really into the Necrons. I've been enjoying them. And, in fact, because I have, like, more Necrons, it's almost making me want to build up a sizable force. And in fact, my goal right now is to do everything up in, like, all the Necrons from the Indominus box set, get them to tabletop, and and possibly play some incursion games with them versus my Eldar. And I'll probably have my son or somebody else take over the Necrons. And yeah, I've been thinking of some stuff, some ideas, because I'm thinking of like doing like bat reps, but I don't know if I want to do them in a more dry sort of turn by turn. I'm sure I'll do something like that, but I don't know. I'm more inclined to do it a bit more narrative, a little bit more cinematic. You know what I mean? Because Kris just loves making movies and things inspired by movies, having a bit of a cinematic flair. And I watched like Play On. They have the beginning and intro stuff like that, and that's really fun. When I was working for Mini Wargaming many years ago, I was creating little intros and outros like that for the segments and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. It was a nice break from the usual kind of stuff. And I think would definitely like to return to some more of that kind of work. Unfortunately, creating tutorials and stuff like that does take up a bit of my time, and I want to do more streaming. I definitely do want to do more Twitch streams, but then that's just going to eat up more of my time, right? And it's kind of a thing of, well, how much is it worth my time to pursue these other things, or just kind of continue to do what I'm doing that obviously a lot of people find helpful. Creating the tutorials and such has been great, and you guys, the patrons, have been fantastic, and it seems to be kind of the bread and butter, as it were, right? So yeah, I wasn't 100% sure where I was going with all that, but anyway. Lieben Russ, man, best time to join in a podcast when people talk about ding dongs. Scott Radom. Picasso was the painter. Picasso? Is that legit what the guy's name was? Picasso? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously it's a joke, right? Because he's using a clever name like that. I mean, the comedy writes itself, essentially. Ghost of Starman Deluxe, must admit, I was pretty disappointed by the reveals today. No, the monolith. No, I'm on board with that new monolith. That thing kicks ass. The new monolith. That's why, I'm looking at that monolith, and I'm looking at that new dude, the guy who's a Satan, and he's all kind of like discombobulated. Some of those kits, man, are just freaking cool looking. And yeah, a monolith. I mean, I was already planning on assembling a monolith because I'm pretty sure I have 2 monoliths still not even assembled, and they're the old ones. And I was thinking of doing my current color scheme that I've been doing on the Necrons that you guys may have noticed from the fresh tips lately. I'm thinking of doing all the Necrons like that. It's a nice, fast, easy way of getting them done. And, it looks cool. And so that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I know, it's dangerous when Kris is thinking, but that's what I'm thinking. Benshun, hey Kris, enter chat, talking about penises. Yeah, I know, first few minutes of the show, we're already talking about penises, I know. It's the way of the brush. I mean, let's get it out of our systems right now. Penises. Anyway, Greg German, hi, and bye, Kris and monkeys. My set has only started on its way from its source. What? Oh, like the Indominus set? Okay, I got you. Hi and bye. Okay. Hi, bye. Nathaniel, greetings, Kris and fellow monkey. I just joined, and there's already penis talk. And there was an artist who used scalping putty to make copies of her vagina. Yeah, definitely. I mean, come on. We're no strangers to the fleshlight, right? I mean, that's as far as I understand it. They make a mold, and then and there you go, right? So, I mean, is it art? I don't know. The debate whether or not it's art. Fleshlights, are they art? I don't know. Ghost of Starman Deluxe thought we would at least get a couple new things for Marines and Necrons, but just the tank. Yeah, as far as that new tank, what is it, the Gladiator? I mean, as soon as they put out that Rhino-sized Primaris tank, you knew we were going to get the Whirlwind for it, we're going to get the Predator for it, we're going to get a Vindicator for it. You know what I mean? We're going to get all those things. And I've been seeing some comments, I've seen some people were talking on Discord about how basically, they're going to phase out regular-sized Marines, like the previous edition Marines, right? And I mean, we've talked about that for ages, and yeah, I'll bet you 5 more years, yeah, you won't even be able to get those box sets. It'll just be the Primaris stuff. I mean, I'm mostly okay with that. I know if I had a huge 10,000 point collection of Space Marines, it would be kind of annoying, to say the least. But, I mean, the Primaris Marines are really freaking cool, though. And they look really great. And the proportions, you know, they look good by the proportions. They're nice, big, tall Marines, right? And, you know, whereas the little squatty Space Marines, they look squats. They look like squats. And their stances are always squat, right? Their legs are always far apart, you know, and they're never standing like kind of upright, you know, like parade ready kind of, you know, marching. I don't know. Greg Gurman, the guitarist with no eyes, yeah, from Fury Road. That'll be me on the front of a train, on the hype train. Whenever Eldar get an update and we start seeing, you know, things for Eldar. Oh, you bet your ass! I'll be the most annoying person on the internet when that day comes. I'll be annoying. I'll be like, oh my god, frickin' everybody who hates Eldar will be pulling their hair out. And I'm looking at you, Gim. Yeah, everybody's gonna be pulling their. I mean, Gim's a little thin on top anyway, but. It'd be like Homer Simpson. It's just instead of like 4 strands, 2 strands pop out. Bing, you know, they come out. Nathaniel, episode 306. You bet your sweet monkey cheeks. Kris is riding the train. Oh, definitely, man. I'll definitely be on that hype train. But don't worry. That's like, I mean, there's no sign that Craftworld Eldar are getting an update anytime soon. So, who knows when that is? Who knows, right? I kind of thought when the Banshees and Jane Czar came out, I thought maybe that was going to be the beginning of here's some more stuff, but no, it is not to be so. And then I seen the little preview. It looks like there's a Dark Eldar. It looks like there was a Chaos thing and a Sister, a battle. Oh, and a Mechanicus. Interesting. I like the the Dark Eldar characters. I mean, definitely, I think really what should be on a priority as far as like what gets updated, definitely should be anything that is currently a Finecast kit should get a plastic kit, just right off the hop, right at the gate. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. I'm more hyped for when they start bringing out multi-part Necrons. Definitely, yeah. Oh yeah. Like when the regular Necron kits start coming out and you can pose them any which way you like. Oh yeah, definitely. Saleswoman from Hell should do whatever is fun for you to do. Dry battle report sounds dry. Yeah, like I know a lot of people prefer the more blow by blow. I don't know. For me personally, I mean, like I always find and I don't really watch battle reports, and I always find the ones that are telling more of a story a little bit more convincing, or you're really watching more or less the people playing, right? And I'm really only very familiar with mini wargamings, but I know like there's many channels out there doing it in various different ways. Some are doing it more like a competitive style, and I know some do it more story driven, and everything in between. And for the mini wargaming battles, I never watched them because I worked with those guys, and like I sure as hell wasn't going to watch them on a video, and for an hour or 2 hours, whatever length the video is. And yeah, so but I mean, I can see the appeal for a lot of people because it's more or less gaming vicariously, and it's more like when you are walking into a hobby shop, or whatever gaming shop, whatever it is, and you walk in and there's some people playing, and you're just kind of standing by and just watching the battle progress, and you're listening to these guys talk, crap to each other or whatever, or talking about what they're doing, and you know what I mean. And it's a bit more in the way I look at it. That's what more of the bat reps are more like. It's kind of like when you're watching on the sideline and just watching, the game transpire before you, right? And so, yeah. But I only ever tune in for a couple seconds. Even when I go to a gaming store or whatever, and I'm watching a game going on, I'm usually only watching for a couple minutes. Then I go off and do my thing, right? So, yeah. I'm not much of a spectator, I guess. Because even with like sports and stuff like that, I don't, I mean, like I watch football, but that's because my son, since a young age, was really into it. And, Like, I'm not really one for spectating, you know? Yeah. I'd rather be part of it, as I played sports, but I never really watched sports, yeah. So, anyway. James of Kent, we used to do journalist-style match reports in old Blood Bowl League. Much more fun than being told Tom won 2-1 with his undead leveled up a mummy. Yeah. Nathaniel, episode 306, Monoliths Assemble. Ghost Starman Deluxe, I too am on board with the Monolith, but we already knew it was coming and had seen a decent amount of it, so it wasn't that exciting to me. To be honest, I want to pick up the old one from the trans green bits. I'll pick up one of the old ones with the transparent green bits? Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of fun. I like the new way they've done Necrons, though. I because the green bits, the transparent green bits, you know, they were green. So, you know, you were kind of like, okay, well, either I use the green bits, and my color schemes kind of has to work with that green bit, or I go shop third party and find green bits, or I paint over that clear bit and paint it whatever color I want. You know what I mean? And so it was kind of, you know, limiting, right? Versus if they had done it, say, in clear, just straight up clear, and, you know, introduced a paint, a transparency that you could put on top of it, and that would have made it easy for everybody to just do their Necrons, whatever colors, those clear bits, whatever colors they wanted, right? I'm a big fan of, you know, clear parts. Like, could you imagine, like, for Lord of the Rings, if the Balrog, they had done it in a clear plastic? Everybody and their brothers would have been, you know, lighting that thing up, you know, to make it glow. That would have just been awesome, right? Just all sorts of things like that. Like, I'm a big fan of clear parts. George Hintz over on Twitch. Hello. Lehman Russ, art if you decorate them. What is that? Anybody who watched Blue Mountain State? There was an episode where they were vajazzling. They were vajazzling. Anyway, if you're not familiar with that, Blue Mountain State, yeah, check it out. Vajazzling. You probably can find a YouTube clip on it. You'll know what I'm talking about. That was a hilarious show. Ghost of Starman Deluxe, screw the gladiators. All my homies hate gladiators. This post was made by Rhino Chassis Gang. Sure. Like, are you guys just kind of sitting in the corner with your leather jackets, you know, chewing on a toothpick? Lehman Russ, F them Eldar is the best. Eldar is the best. I wouldn't imagine a statement like that coming from a person whose name is Lehman Russ saying Eldar is best. I would assume they would say Space Marines or Space Wolves or Space Puppies or For Fenris is best. Inquisitor, I'll be on the train too. Yeah, for Eldar, definitely. Oh yeah. I'll be annoying as hell. I will be annoying. You guys will be like, I'm tuning out. Chris just won't shut up about new Eldar. He just won't shut up about it. Like, for God's sakes, man, somebody, you know, I'm sure my subscribers will just fall right off because I'll be that annoying. But that will be my goal. I will be super, super annoying. I'm trying to think of somebody who had a really annoying voice. I'll be like Fran Drescher. Yeah, like that level of annoying. Ghost Starman looks, I reckon those models they showed at the end will just be more random one-offs like the stuff they brought out with the PA books. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, everybody's is like, for the Dark Eldar character, it looks like it's going to be Lilith. At least I can get on board with that speculation. That's Lilith. And she needs a plastic kit. And a plastic kit definitely is going to be a lot more dynamic than the previous one. Now, the previous sculpt is fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that previous sculpt. But today, to get it, it is fine cast. And there's all sorts of issues there, right? So, yeah. And I'm sure, like, a Lilith, yeah, definitely will have the big flowy hair, kind of like Jane Czar, you know, just on a tippy toe and, you know, very delicate, and it'll probably be a whack ton of fun to paint, I'm sure. Saleswoman from Hell, I'm more excited where that will lead. More factions with more HQ models. Oh, definitely, right? I mean, like, it's obvious, like, they aren't just gonna like like if they're gonna redo, say, Eldar, they wouldn't just do it as a big drop. Unlikely anyway. As like a big update. It most likely will be like half the year kind of thing, and definitely they would hype train it for 3 months beforehand that Eldar are coming, and there's like nothing on the horizon right now as far as any indication that Craft World Eldar are getting an update. So, but the thing is that makes me nervous about them getting an update is them changing the aesthetic, right? And I've talked about this before in the past, where there was a change in the way the Aspect Warriors looked. Whoever sculpted it, I'm sorry, but that was a miss. That was a miss. And then so when they redid them again, they stuck to the original Jess Goodwin sketches, and those models still hold up today. And that's probably why they're not in no rush to update Eldar, because those old sculpts still hold up. They still look really good. They're still very Eldar, and but definitely, I mean, like the Viper needs a resculpt. The grav tanks, the Falcon grav tank. I would love to see Eldar get something larger scaled grav tank, sort of like a Lynx, but plastic, kind of like the equivalent, because like the Falcon grav tank chassis. That's kind of like the Eldar Rhino, even though it's actually functionally more like a Razorback, where it's a small troop complement, and that's more like a Razorback than it is a Rhino. And the Wave Serpent's more like a Rhino, but it's same chassis. And Eldar don't have like that Rhino to Land Raider jump, right? Eldar just goes from Falcon grav tank to a Lynx, which is a big body, to a Scorpion, which is a super heavy, right? And I'd like to see something like a Lynx, but for Eldar, as far as being like the Eldar or not super heavy, but Land Raider. Although I guess a Land Raider really is more like a super heavy than it is like a regular tank, especially if you're looking at it more like the old school kind of when there were structure points, stuff like that. Like a Land Raider really should have had structure points back in the day. But anyway, anybody who's not familiar with structure points, forget it, or hull point, the old hull point system. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I would like to see. But I definitely a new Viper upgrade, because that kit is like from 96, 97. The Falcon is like 96, 95. They definitely need an update on those designs, but I think staying true to it, but giving us a bit more a bit better constructed model, because the two half system was a bit like the old Rhino, where it was two halves, and it was no, the way the kits go together nowadays is far better. And I'm sure the design team, if they just stayed true to the original designs but updated them, I think they definitely would win. And yeah, and I definitely think that with the new Eldar line, obviously you're going to get some bigger models, and definitely more dynamic. And Eldar is such a fun one, because like they can totally go with fully dynamic, floating, crazy, you know what I mean? Kind of like the specters from Forge World, the Shadow Specters. Those guys, could you imagine those? They wouldn't need those big rocks coming up. They could just totally float on the cloth ribbons, right? And you can have those guys. And I'd like to see even those guys get incorporated into the regular Eldar army, bring the Shadow Specters in, and, the Wraith, what is it, the Seer Wraith? Wraith Seer? Wraith Seer. But yeah, definitely. I don't have no idea where I am. Anthony B, Shotgun Beers. So stoked on all the Necron stuff. Can't wait to see all the new releases. Yes, definitely. New Necron stuff is really fantastic. It's almost making me want. I know it's dangerous. It's almost making me want to start, really getting serious about collecting Necrons. But I can't bring myself to put my Necrons on the same shelf as my Eldar. It's just not going to happen. We just can't have that. We're just not going to have it. My Eldar won't tolerate it, and my Eldar force is much bigger. Ghost Starman Deluxe. The Eldar model seemed too well armored to be Lilith, but maybe they're doing that deliberately to desexualize her. Well, Possibly. I think they're just going to make her look more like a witch. Yeah, it does look like she has like the leather suit on, but if you look at the picture, she's barefoot. And I don't think any of the other witches are barefooted. And Lilith is described as being barefooted as she fights, right? And obviously, like, you know, the sexualization of it, that's always a tough call. Because it's closer to art, and I mean, it's not like she's, you know, doing a full-on spready, and, you know what I mean, like, if she's more in a battle pose, and if she was, you know, kind of, you know, more like a skin-tight suit, you know what I mean, like, I don't know, it's debatable, you know. Sometimes, like, some things, you know, I feel like unnecessary, you know, with like the gratuity, and then sometimes it fits, right? And so if the piece is written a certain way, and they're not looking to change that, and they're not looking to, you know, to take that down and redo it, or if, you know, there was a lot of public outcry about it, right, then yeah, I could see them, you know, swaying to change it, right? And, you know, but again, I mean, aesthetics change. I mean, you know, Games Workshop has gone back and forth on, you know, nudity for many years. Early Games Workshop stuff, there was nudity, and then they went through a phase where there was absolutely nothing sexualized, very well. And then, of course, they went back to doing nudity in the miniatures, especially like in the Demonettes. I would think that was the 3rd edition or 4th edition Demonettes. They had their, you know, the boobies out and everything like that, and those were probably my favorite Demonettes. 1st edition Demonettes, they had the big crab claws, and they had like one boobie hanging out and stuff like that, and like the Fiend had a full row of boobies. I mean, it's absurd, right? But, you know, it went with the theme of the army, at least what the concept was for the models. And then now, you know, they don't have that aesthetic, and, you know, I mean, again, they flip-flop, and I'm sure it's whoever's in charge of the design aesthetic at the time, and it's probably like, no boobies. Boobies are good. No boobies. Boobies are good. No boobies. Boobies are good, right? And, you know, personally, I'm in the camp of boobies are good to a certain point. And, you know, it really is, if, as long as it's not gratuitous. But even gratuitous can still be its own aesthetic, right? Because, like say for example, like Demonettes, if it was really gratuitous, but that is what they were supposed to be, but they're not really described in that fashion. At least, you know, I mean, they don't really push it in that aesthetic, right? So, you know, again, it's debatable. It's all debatable, and it's really, you know, if they did it and people hated it, then they never do it again, right? But if they did it and it sold, you know, tons, then, you know, and even, you know, gratuitous, you know, like there's companies out there that produce, you know, pin-up style models, you know, that, you know, pin-up style, you know, Tau and, you know, Sisters of Battle and stuff like that, and people buy it up. So, you know, there's definitely a market for it, and nobody seems to be up in arms about those companies. So, you know, I guess boobies are good, right? Everybody likes boobies, and who doesn't? Honestly, you'd have to be some sort of weirdo to be, you know, no, not boobies. No, I can't look. They're boobies. Saleswoman from Hell. The Howling Banshees look the same, so it makes sense that any new plastic would look the same as the old. Yeah, exactly, right? So the new Banshees look like the original Banshees, and they stay true to Jess Goodwin's designs, which 2 thumbs up on that decision. Jane Czar pretty much looks like her, you know, original artwork, sort of, pretty much. She stays pretty true to the original sculpt, which that sculpt has held up since the early 90s, right? That was only her second, or her first redo, really. There was the original sculpt that came out in 2nd edition 40K, and that design has held till a couple months ago. So, Yeah, I think as long as they stay true to Jess Goodwin's designs, the Eldar line will definitely kick ass. Sure, they can add some extra little flair to them and, create more dynamic poses and stuff like that. Like, definitely. But, yeah, when they deviate too far, it loses me. Especially, like, when they redid Eldar in Epic, and they redid the Phantom Titan. Oh, my lord. I don't know what that was. I was so put off. It offended my sensibilities. I'm sorry. Whoever was the sculptor of that, I'm sorry, but oof, no. Again, a miss. Nathaniel, episode 306. Lilith is tiptoeing through the tulips with Kris. Tiptoe to the window. Go Starman Deluxe. Honestly, the Viper doesn't really need an update. That kit holds up very well. It does. And that speaks to the design of Eldar, that those designs still hold up. But what I'm talking about is the way those kits went together and everything. It's outdated. And like the Viper, I would like to see the Viper get done more like how, like, for example, okay, this is the, jeez, what's that stuff? Oh, that guy. Anyway, this is really dusty, but this is that Harlequin Star Reaver. This is essentially a Viper. This is a Viper. You put a star cannon or heavy weapon up here on a pintle mount. This is a Viper, and see how it's enclosed in behind. Well, there's Harlequins stuck on the hull here, but hold on, they're not glued down. They fell off in moving. I just never. You know what? Oh, screw it. I'm just gonna dust it. Just because it's a nice this model. Anybody who's wondering, this is a color shifting, but it's a nail polish. I painted this nail polish. I did a video on it a while back. A long while back. I'm just using a brush here just to dust it off. Just to deuce it off. Tiptoe to the window. Frickin' guys got me singing that now. Anywho, yeah. So this is essentially a Viper. Without the gun being mounted here, it'd be a pintle mount here. But this is essentially a Viper, right? And this, I would love to see this as the Craft World Viper. Or, yeah, like you could remove this bit here, and this bit glues on. So this can come off, be something else, something other doodad could go there, and have the pintle mount back here. I'm sure there's other things that would have to change for this. But, yeah. Can you guys even see the color shifting? It goes from a red to a gold. I'm just trying to get the light here to play on its surface. Yeah, you can see how it goes from the, watch along right here. You can see it goes reddish to a gold. And then the diamonds go from a blue to a green. I don't know if you guys can see that either. Camera really doesn't show color shifting paint very well. I think because it's a one lens, and I think dichromatic paint relies upon our binocular vision to convey that impression of colors changing. I think that's what it relies on. That's why it looks so freaky deaky to us. Anyway, but yeah, the Viper. Yeah, I'd like to see the Viper. I would like to see that chassis, essentially that design. Just tone it back a bit, take a bit of the Harlequin out of it, and make that a Craft World Viper, and that would be awesome. And the Falcon Grav Tank can have more of the aesthetic of like the Scorpion or the Lynx, and yeah, I'd like to see more of that. But definitely, a new kit is needed, because anybody who's ever put together a Falcon Grav Tank, especially if the kit is like from earlier printings, the two halves of the hull, you have to put an elastic band around that so that the two halves stay together. Now you definitely need to be using styrene plastic glue to make sure that those parts are bonded properly. But yeah, because that's what I used to do all the time and I have like a bunch of those chassis, Wave Serpents, Falcons, and yeah, you gotta rubber band it all the time, because the two halves, like the upper half, always seem to be just pop right off, and if you super glue it, you're just looking for trouble there. So yeah. Anywho, the Heretic Scott. Hey dudes, what are you eating in the thumbnail, Kris? I'm eating sprues. I'm eating these Space Marines right here. These are the new what the hell are they called? Shield Shield Warden? I can't remember. But yeah. See these guys. I just wanted something goofy, and it's Indominus Day, and I mean, I'm eating Space Marines. I'll eat Space Marines. Heretic Scott, I always found it kind of strange, but also funny how so many of the Chaos models have at least one hand flipping the bird. Back in the day, they used to do that a lot. There was a lot like Nurglings, you'd see them all just flipping the bird, right? But nowadays, you know, that kind of vulgarity doesn't get put in. Which kind of brings us to one idea that I've often pondered is Games Workshop and the community as a whole wants this to be more family friendly, yet the subject matter is not family friendly. It's quite dark. And also on the boxes say 12 and up, right? Preteen. So it's not for kids. This stuff's not for kids. And remind me later, you. Go away. And this stuff's not for kids. And so because basically so many adults are into this, that definitely that should be a factor. It should be more young adult oriented and less, trying to attract a much younger audience. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, or you have the more popular side of it, but then you also have the more adult side of it. And I definitely would like to see more of an adult side of things, because you could definitely tell some really great stories, right, if you fully embraced the horror aspect within 40K. And I was kind of excited because I saw that Dark Tide trailer, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I seen all the little poxwalkers, and like, that's going to be fun. And apparently it's going to play like Left 4 Dead, so that's kind of fun. It's kind of arcadey, shoot 'em up, and it's also kind of scary because there's a whack ton of monsters coming after you. I think it's going to be kind of fun. And it, you get that element of humor in it as well, because you see the one trooper, he's moving, and his light on his gun won't work, and the other one just kind of gives it a little knock and it comes on, you know what I mean? That's a touch of humor. And Left 4 Dead has that little touch of humor as well, and I like that. And, I'm hoping that that game is a bit of fun. I'm hoping. The Heretic Scott, episode 306. Boobies are good to a point. To a point. Kevin Cabal, 306. Flippin' flopping gratuitously. Jobs 11 episode 306. Boobies are good. Nurgle bums are better. You know what? I like that. Boobies are good, but Nurgle bums are better. Oh, Jabba. I was going to do a bit of a Jabba. I can't do it right now because I'm laughing too much. I was going to do the Jabba voice, but I can't do it. It's not happening. I'm sorry. It's not happening. I was going to do it. No, I can't do it. Anyway. Nathaniel, episode 306, boobies are good. Fire Trick 18, please don't take those boobies. How many times can we say boobies in this show today? Lehman Russ, when I made my account, I was looking at Lehman Russ' picture, but since I like elves and fantasy, I got drawn into Eldar plus Farseer Idrenel is a redhead, and I love redheads. Ariel Sisinski. Hi, Kris. Hi, every tony. David Vaughn, woohoo, Indominus just arrived in the mail. Cool. See, everybody's getting their Indominus on today. Getting your Indominus on. Anthony B, which Turbodor colors would be good for the new Necron stuff? Green and silver, mostly for the scheme. Green and silver, so you want to go with green, like green armor and silver gun, or green gun, silver armor? For Turbodork, are we talking just straight up metallics? Or are we talking about like color shifting? Because if we're talking turbo dorks here, hold on. Let me get my book out of the way here. I'm afraid to put that up on my bookshelf because I'm afraid my whole shelf's just gonna come down, because my one shelf is just full of books, and it's like Imperial armors up there and stuff like that, and the old rule books, which are wicked thick. Yeah. So anyway, Here, let me scooch some of this stuff over here so I don't crush it. Let's have a look. Oh, wrong container. This is my scale 75. But as far as a blue, was it? No, green. Green and silver. A green silver from Turbo Dork. Okay, that's the wrong container. Let's go with this one. From the Turbo Dork. Oh yeah, they got a really nice green. Yeah. Because you got Absinthe. That's just a straight up metallic green. That's a really fun one. Malum Malice. It's kind of a nurgly green. But if you did this, say for like armor bits, and did this gun silver or black, and you use like say the new Necron Tesseract Glow. Yeah, I have Tesseract Glow. Yeah, if you did that, that'd be kind of cool. Be a lot of green, but is that a bad thing? I don't know. Ooh, they got a really nice dark green. They got a dark green. Emerald Nightmare. Yeah, that's really dark. It's almost like Caliban green with like metal. Like it's metal. It's Caliban green with metal. And then Seafood. Seafood's more of a turquoisey kind of green. Of course, one of my favorites is Curacao. This is my favorite. This is one's more of a turquoisey. It's really fun. Teal. And then for silvers, well, they got a bunch of silvers, but they got a really nice bright silver. Where the hell? It's a silver. Oh, for the love of Pete. Okay. I'm about to lose my shit. Where's the silver? Where the hell is my silver? This is a fun one. This is orange multipass. That's a great color. Oh, Jesus fucking H. Christ. Was it Diane? No, DJ J official joined on Twitch. Thank you. Following. Frick, that scared the shit out of me, man. I was lost in looking at the paints. But yeah, I mean, I guess really it depends upon what. Where the frick is my Turbo Dork Silver? Maybe it's over here. Oh, too many paints, people. Oh, there it is. Pearly Gates. That's it. Pearly Gates. This one, it's kind of like. It's a bit like White Alchemy from Scale 75. It's like a white paint with metallics. Really, really bright. Really cool. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what kind of color scheme you're talking about. But yeah, they've got a few greens. There was one that was more of a yellowy green. There was one that was more of like a forest green. And then there was the Caliban green one. So it depends on what level of green you're looking for. Or what you have in mind. Because I guess it really depends on, you know, like what are you looking to do? Like the main body, like is the you know, the armor plate's going to be a color, and then the piping be silver, the gun be black, and the color inside the the doodads are what have you. But yeah. Anyway. But yeah, Anthony. Yeah, let me know. I don't know if you answered me at all. No, you didn't really answer me, but yeah. Pixel Hobo, the new monolith is pretty nice. Yes, I like the new monolith. It's very, very cool. And I like that it's got different weapon options too, it looks like. And I like that apparently the Necron stepping out of the energy, you can either model it with or without a Necron, which is really cool. It's nice. It's nice that they add that flexibility in. It's really cool. Go Star Andalux. Internet shat itself back when you were talking about demonette titties. It broke the internet. Pixel Hobo, a much younger audience can't afford GW. Right, but kids always bug their parents. Right? Kids always bug their parents. Parents will buy that stuff. Just shut their kids up. So the pricing really isn't the issue. It's just who they're gearing it towards, right? And who is 40K for, Like, is it for a younger audience or an older audience? Everybody in between, you know. I personally, feel that it doesn't have to be, 100% family friendly. And, I mean, the middle ground would be to make it more PG-13 kind of thing, Not so all the way R, but not so all the way G, that kind of thing. But, I'm not the one who makes those decisions, so, we're all along for the ride, I guess. Aaron O, that's why they started their book line for kids, and they are still dark, just not grim dark. I have not read those books that I assumed by their covers that it was for very young kids, kind of preteen. Even though like the models are not for kids. I mean, like the boxes. Where the frick is the box? I don't have it. Okay, here we go. Yeah. I'll grab this box for anvils, right? Look at there you go, right there. 12 and up. That's not a kid. That's preteen, right? That's not a kid. And I don't know about you, but when I was at that age, were you reading a lot of that stuff? No, when I was at that age, I was getting into 40K. So, Saleswoman from Hell, Dark Tide is made by Fat Shark, the same guys who made Vermintide, which is just 14D, but better. Oh, Left 4 Dead. And set in the Warhammer Fantasy, so you can look forward to being competent. For it being competent. Oh, yeah, for being fun, yeah. Competent? Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's done with love and they, stay pretty true to the source material, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Definitely. I mean, the mechanics of the game. I mean, like, how many different kind of game types are there? There's like a first-person shooter, real-time strategy, role-playing. You know what I mean? Like, how many games are like Final Fantasy? How many games are like that? Like bazillions, right? Strategy games. How many games are like StarCraft, right? Billions. First-person shooters. I couldn't even tell you, right? I mean, like, it's all just game genres at this point. And so pick your genre, pick 40K. As long as it stays true to the source material, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun, right? It's all we want as 40K fans. We're the first people who are going to pick those products up. So, yeah. Grim, indeed. Heretic Scott, I doubt lots of very young kids have the delayed gratification to do the hobby. I started around 12 years old, but I don't have much patience for it. I didn't have much patience for it. I had the patience as much as any young teen could, especially at that age, when you really start noticing the opposite sex, and I mean, like, that becomes very distracting. I mean, very. Even to this day, if I'm not into painting my little toy soldiers. Anyway. So, yeah. And in this day and age, yeah, it is kind of hard to see a lot of young people taking up this hobby, especially because there's no instant gratification. At least that's the way it always seems, right? And we've talked about this in the past with 3D printing, that will become more prevalent because that can give you closer to instant gratification. Print my model, have it fully painted, and ready to go on the tabletop in hours, right? Oh, brand new model just came out. Download the file, print it up. That night, I'm playing with it, right? So we're heading there. That's where we're heading, right? Wubba-dub, wub-bub, hail. Wilhelm Enberg. Boobs brought me here. Nurgle bums made me stay. Come for the boobs, stay for the bums. What a tagline. Wubba-dub, wub-bub. Is that glow good? I have not tried it. The Tesseract glow, I have not tried this yet. I've like looking at it, I've made the comparison that it is more like that Night Haunt Gloom, But I don't think it is. I think this flows more like the contrast, where it'll fall into the recesses. I think that's because that's how it's designed, right? It's more like the contrast. I think this is more of like a bright lime green contrast paint than it is like like those other colors. I also did a video. I just did a quick test because in previous episodes I've talked about this new Cryptek Armor Shade gloss. This is for the new Necrons, right? Where does this fall in? So I just did a video, and it just went up this morning on Patreon. Just doing a quick side by side of various colors, and where does this fit in to the current range of colors? Like, is this a duplicate or is this its own thing? And you have to watch the video. Of course, it'll get published on YouTube and everything like that soon enough. But again, patrons get early access. So, sorry. Nathaniel, gotta go, guys. Wi-Fi is jitterish in my area. Enjoy your weekend. Later, Dieter. Wub it up, wub wub. Metallic Caliban green. Loyalty with sprinkles. Yeah, that color. What the hell was it called now from TurboDork? Is the emerald green? Yeah, the emerald, whatever. Yeah, it's a really nice color. A nice deep metallic. Like, you could use that as your base and then edge highlight with the other lighter greens, and and be done. I don't know if Scale 75 does a green metallic. Do they do a green metallic? Here I am, digging around back in my paints again. Nope, that's a Scale 75, or TurboDark. Because Scale 75 has got some really bright colors. They do. Perdot Alchemy, it's a really light metallic green. And these colors are really smooth. Emerald Alchemy, there we go. From Scale 75. Yeah. Now, the Scale 75 metallics, they don't have any deep color, like deep saturation colors. They're all fairly bright, which is not a problem. Just, whereas TurboDork, which is why I was an instant fan of Turbo. Well, I thought I heard you, Doogie, my Doogie. Which is why I was an instant fan of TurboDork, because they had all these very interesting colors, and nobody else is doing that, and bravo, because everybody else is always imitating each other, right? Oh, we're doing color shift paints. Now everybody's doing fucking color shift paints. Oh, we're doing bright yellow. Oh, we're doing contrast paints. Oh, we're doing contrast paints. You know what I mean? Like, and it's nice to see somebody say, okay, well, yes, there's that, but what else is missing? The in-between stuff, you know what I mean? And that'll always, get a tip of the hat or whatever you want from me. Now, I'm not saying that, they got to please me, but I'm a consumer, just like all of you. And, you vote with your dollar. And if it's complete crap, then, you don't buy it, right? Samuel Sanfratello. Hi, Kris. I've got a question not related to Indominus or boobies. I want to paint Blood Angel Librarian. Does it have to be blue? Does it have to be? No. It's your model. You can paint it any way you want. You want it to be a Blood Angel? Paint him up completely red. Paint him up completely black with the red X's, like he's what is it? What are the guys that are all black with the red X's? Wow, the name is Death Company. You can paint him up like that. He could be a Death Company librarian. Completely unheard of, but it also sounds like a severe liability. But guy, you don't want a guy who's psychic and he's also looking for his own death. He wants to die an honorable death, right? It's like this guy could level companies of men just on a suicidal whim, right? So, but anyway, now if you want to remain codex coherent or compliant, sorry, not coherent, compliant, then they're blue, right? So it's just like the tech Marines. They're all supposed to be red, right? It's up to you. It's your model. You paint it up however the hell you want, So, do you want to explain yourself every time you go to a games club and bring your model out and go, why is your librarian completely red, right? Do you feel like explaining yourself, or do you just want to play the game? But it's your model. Paint it up however the hell you want. You know, it's a big universe, and I'm sure even within Codex adherent chapters, there is some deviation. I'm sure, right? Maybe he's newly inducted into the what is it, librarium, and you know, he hasn't painted his armor yet, right? I don't know. So hopefully, Samuel, that helps. I'm always an advocate of, if you spent the money on it, you spent the money on the paints and the brushes, you paint it to however the hell you want to paint it. If you want it to be, you know, pink with, you know, sprinkles on top, put it with pink with sprinkles on top. It's your model. Do it however you want. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Not 100% sure how I want to paint my Necrons yet. Def most silver, but I don't know what to put alongside that. Too many good choices. LMAO. Yeah. I was even thinking of painting the Necrons. Like, I get all these ideas, but I'm trying to stay coherent with these Necrons. But maybe down the line, I don't know. But these Necrons are really great. They're really good sculpts. And I was even thinking like Necrons done up to look like flesh, right? So you play right into the whole zombie hand of it all, right? You do the little cords and wires to look like guts, and you do the bone bits to look like bone, and you do the fleshy bits to look like flesh or muscle or skin, or, you know what I mean, whatever, and just play right in to the fleshy aspect of them. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? I don't know. I was thinking about doing that for one of the warriors, but I was like, no. I'm doing them all consistently. So unfortunately, when I get around to assembling more Necrons, maybe I'll do something like that. Maybe I'll play around, you know, with different ideas. But I'll throw that one out into the universe, and maybe somebody else will pick it up and do it well. Maybe they'll do it better than what I would have done. So I'm just throwing that one out there. Just throwing it out there. There you go. Anybody who missed that, anybody who's listening didn't catch what I just did, but everybody who's watching caught what I did. And in fact, from now on, when I'm throwing ideas out there, that's the gesture I'm gonna use. Oh man. Anthony B, episode 306. Well, the boobs are out. Saleswoman from Hell. What I am saying is not it won't be trash fire, and Vermintide is really nice. I never played Vermintide. It is very faithful to the material. It's gritty but still humorous, and you like the characters. Yeah, see, now that's the other big one, right? Because yeah, it's playing off of, I assume, like Left 4 Dead, where it's, you know, this group of, you know, misfits, essentially, right? I'm sure they're all different personalities. One's a tough one, one's a goofy one, one's a chicken, one's, you know, a brave one, kind of, you know what I mean? Just all the typical tropes within horror film, right? And, you know, they're going in, and all of a sudden, poxwalkers, you know. And is it going to be completely poxwalkers? Or is it going to get like some Gene Stealer cults, or, you know, corpse grinders, or, you know, necromunda gangs, or, you know what I mean? Like, again, when you're dealing with the Underhive, there's so much room to play with, right? And, you know, it'd be kind of cool to see what they go with, right? But anywho, Salesman for Now, Trash Fire being something like, I don't know, Eternal Crusade. Now, see, I didn't mind Eternal Crusade. I had fun when I played that one. I had fun. It was buggy initially because we were playing it early on, but I liked it, and I really wish that one really would have took off. And I'm not sure why that one really didn't take off, because, you know, you were playing Chaos, Space Marine, Eldar, and somebody else. Orcs? And it was sandbox. It was like Battlefield, and I'm a big Battlefield nut. And, you know, that's essentially what it was. And it was Battlefield 40K, and I mean, I was instantly sold on it, but unfortunately, I don't game on a PC, and it's only PC, and, you know, yeah, it's unfortunate, but, you know, but yeah, I mean, Eternal Crusade, yeah, I wish that one took off, because yeah, I'd love that'd be the reason. If that one was really, really good, and everybody was still playing it, yeah, I definitely would get a gaming PC, and so I could play that along with other PC games, but then I would get less painting done because then I'd be distracted by all the video games. I only limit myself to basically one day a week to play video games, which is Mondays with my brother. So for game night on Twitch, I stream it on Twitch, just on Twitch. In fact, I don't post it on YouTube because there's a lot of swearing and we we're kind of jerks. Clayton Tate, Kris has strong opinions on the fleshy flesh bone. The fleshy flesh bone? Yeah. Yeah. Ghost Starman knows, Kris, that fleshy Necron idea sounds metal AF. Maybe you could use it on some flayed ones to go with that. Yeah, but flayed ones, see, I would do it on the flayed ones, but I think the flayed ones would be scarier because you're already playing into the zombie idea, right, of them. And man, are there going to be new flayed ones? Or are they going to drop flayed ones? Oh, are flayed ones even still in the book? Oh, maybe they drop flayed ones, or maybe they just kind of give them new things. I don't know. The one I'm really excited for is that destroyer with the big fat body. I like that destroyer. That was cool as hell. I liked it with the big, engine turbine thingies. I don't know. And yeah, I'm like, a lot of these Necron models are just really freaking cool. Like the Satan dude who's like kind of morphing together like nanobots or putting them together kind of thing. That model's freaking cool. And I immediately, when I see that, especially now doing my Necrons in a chrome, I kind of want to do that chrome effect on him with the magenta and everything. Like, right, I'm doing these Necrons. I'm sticking with this theme. So we're through the ages, we are gonna see different Necron stuff and a monolith. Okay, can you imagine the monolith? How I in the scheme I want to do it, or I have been doing them. The chrome and magenta, chrome and pink, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I totally can see. As soon as I see those Necrons, I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. Especially the monolith. They've got the big flat surfaces and those all chromed. Yeah. Magenta lightning arcs. Yeah. The magenta golf ball on the top. Yeah, baby. Wub-a-dub, wub-wub. Indominus is the only reason I'm gonna have Necrons, but they look super fun to paint. Yeah, well, they're super easy to put together, and painting them, it's kind of difficult to do a sub-assembly and paint them. Just like, especially for like the Necrons, because some parts you've got to put them together before like. It's just the way some of them work. It's kind of hard to do in sub-assemblies. But I've been leaving them off their bases. I haven't been putting them on their bases, though. But anyway. Oh, excuse me. Samuel Sanfront, hello. Great idea about the librarian colors, but I will probably spend way too much time explaining why he's wearing pink armor with sprinkles on top. Right, like right on his what is it, the Aegis hood or whatever the heck it's called, and he has like a couple sprinkles on it. Why not? Why not do him like a cupcake? Why not paint him like a cupcake and call him Librarian Cupcake? In fact, do an entire chapter of Space Marines like cupcakes. They all look like cupcakes because whatever their homeworld is, it looks like a cupcake. Like, it just happens to be the camouflage patterning is like kind of brown with like a frosting color, like a pink frosting, and then little blue, green, white, pink sprinkles like on top, like little dashes. And it looks like a cupcake, but in fact it's their homeworld, and their homeworld has like that. It's got like brown rock with like a white moss or pink moss with the like little flecks of whatever's in. You know what I mean? Like, it's just whatever kind of crazy ass reason you want to think of for a cupcake themed army. I kind of want to see that now. Now the pressure's on, buddy. Because Samuel, because now I got to see Cupcake Marines. I want to see somebody do Cupcake Marines. Saleswoman from Hell, I've seen screenshots of what can be described as nurgle ogrins. Yeah, Forge World had nurgle ogrins a long time ago. A buddy of mine, he picked up a unit of them and he had them for his army. I don't know if they still sell them, but yeah, they're nurgle ogrins. Leo Xander Magnus, hello there. Hello. James O'Kent, a Necromunda campaign based on the film The Warriors. Not sure what you said make me think of that, but it needs to happen. Yeah, you totally could do, well, the Warriors. I'm sure The Warriors was a huge influence on Confrontation, which later became Necromunda. I'm sure. Derek Luderis, can't stay long, headed to work soon. Just wanted to say thanks for letting me share my work and progress as a painter over the years. I work nights now. Catching the show live is toof. Is toof? Holy crap, it's already 12 after 1. Jeepers creepers. Jeepers creepers. Jeepers creepers. Whatever the hell that means. Creepers. But we need to get to some emails, because I have a few emails to do today. Actually, how many emails? I've got like 3 or 4. Sorry, I can't see. Yeah, I got like 3 going on. It's good. It's a good pace. Yeah, I don't need any more for today. Send them for next week. I just want to quickly get through some of these comments here, and then we'll do an email. Where am I? Ghost Star Man Deluxe. I expected flayed ones to get an update. They would look so cool. Yeah, definitely. I mean, under the new scheme, they definitely could be very scary looking, right? With the flesh just dangling down. You know what I mean? Like just full on, like just horror, like just wearing it like hoods. They'd probably look like night haunts, right? Imagine the night haunts, but flayed ones. So they got the big Freddy Krueger claws going on. You know, they're kind of skulking and, you know, kind of prowling. And, you know, stuff, just all sorts of crazy crap, right? I'm sure they'll look kick-ass when they get an update. I'm sure. They'll be scary. As long as they look scary. Because flayed ones definitely should be scary. I mean, the whole idea of them is horror, right? So, Leo Xander, Magnus, I can almost taste the monolith. Ebb and Flow, check the engine turbine thingies on that destroyer. Yeah, the big engine. Yeah. Pixel Hobo, this Shadow Dragon Satan was great, and then I was like, that's gonna be pain to transport to games. Oh, definitely, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I can't even imagine. You'd have to carry that around. You couldn't even put it. You couldn't put that in a container. It'd break every time on you. Yeah, definitely. Leo Xander, I'm not sure how to translate my idea for Indominus Necrons. I want to paint them using Dr. Doom's color palette. So green cloak and metal shouldn't be too hard. Or you can borrow. Who was it? Anthony. One of the green metallic greens. You could use metallic green, right? Do them silver with dark green guns with the green glow, right? So it looks like kind of like Blackstone, like the guns are made of Blackstone with the green glowy things. Sure, right? You know, going Dr. Doom on the color scheme. Yeah, I mean, totally doable. Just pick your flavor and which way you want to arrange those colors, right? Oh, even just doing the metal with black guns and then say the opaque green on the shoulders. Yeah, there you go. Right? Or yeah. Or just green bodies with bright silver helmet or face, whatever. Yeah, you can go that route too. Again, many directions you can go. You're only limited by your imagination. Samuel Sanfrantello. Damn, now I have to go repaint my Marines. Ghost of Starman, here's an idea. Fleshy monolith. Skin on the outer armor, bare flesh on the metal. Then the Blackstone chunks could be like internal organs. Ooh, yeah. That's freaky, man. That's freaky. Yeah, that Blackstone, like the new monolith. Yeah, it looks like meat, right? The Blackstone is painted like meat, and then you have like the skin on the outside. Yeah, man, that sounds great. Leo Xander, am I saying that right? Leo Xander? Anyway, Magnus. Oh, an email segment. This is my first time checking out the show. Okay, cool. Yeah, we do an email segment. I say at the beginning of the show, if you have any questions, comments, you can send them as emails. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send it off as links to other sites because I just won't do it. But yeah, feel free to send me emails. You know, if you have questions, feel free. You have, and if you have questions, and if you're having a problem with something, and you know, sending me a picture about what your problem is, like what is wrong, all the more better, because you know, picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So, you know, And of course, if you just want to show off what you're working on, I welcome that as well. And if you're commission painting service, you want to show off, what you're working on and, your talents and such, I welcome that as well. I welcome any and all emails. Yeah. So, anywho, but yeah, you're right, Leo. I'm just going to say Leo from now on. Saleswoman from Hell, the movie Doctor Doom is fucking scary. The newest movie. The Doctor Doom movie. I'm not familiar with the Doctor Doom movie. Pixel Hobo, Way of the Brush logo. Does it show up on my screen? It does, the little Way of the Brush logo. The Way of the Brush monkey. Big thank you to Piehead. Or, is it Saleswoman from Hell, Piehead? You're Saleswoman from Hell? Right? Anyway, big thank you. Alrighty, let's do an email. If you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down, but here it comes. Email time. It's email time. I'm not sure what kind of dance that was, but I'm not even sure if it qualifies as a dance. This one is from our good buddy Derek Luderus. Recently finished painting Seventar for my Night Lord's army. Think this is my best work yet. Wish I could catch the show live. Keep up the good work. And so let's have a look at his Severtar, whatever the hell his name is. Let me change cameras here. And so let's have a peek. And yeah, this will, your latest efforts definitely will always be your best efforts, right? Because it's where you've garnered the most experience. I like your checker work on the Marine on the base. That's really good. I think the base, you definitely could go with a little bit deeper color and just bring out those edges and such. Don't be in a big rush to get your models done. Take your time. Enjoy the process. That's impressive work on the checkers, though. But I think, yeah, your base definitely could be a bit deeper. And the Marine, because the Marine kind of gets lost in it, right? And the weathering kind of gets lost. I think the weathering could be a little bit more subtle. But very, very cool. Thank you, Derek, for sending that in. Oh, it's a Dark Angel, too. He looks like he works at Elias Big Boy. Is that the franchise? Big Boy? The one with the little kid holding the freaking hamburger. Thank you, Derek, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I think that the base could be a little bit darker. Just bring those colors down a bit. Don't be in a big rush to get those things done. But, I mean, judging by your work with the checkers, I mean, like, that had to have taken you a while to do. But maybe you put a lot of effort there. And something like this where you want, like, it's a character piece and you want it to be, a centerpiece, definitely you might want to, space out the work a bit more, to take your time and, really kind of enjoy the model, as it were, right? And, yeah. But definitely. But it looked good. I mean, and the character himself, because everything about the whole thing, right, should be to focus on the guy. And unfortunately, the Dark Angel, he gets lost in that base. And I think the base should be darker to really bring out that texture. So let's slight dry brushing. The metal and stuff like that should definitely be picked out. That other floor could also be a different color. And the Dark Angel definitely could go with a more solid black with maybe a bit of edging on his armor, just a tiny bit, right? That way, the Night Lord character stands, really prominently onto the model. I definitely would, though, take my time. Take your time, because if he is a centerpiece model, even if you're just bringing him just to a good tabletop standard, still take your time with it. And because you went through that trouble of doing those checkers, which are impressive, just keep going in that fashion. That if it takes you that long to get there, that's fine. because again, it's going to pay off when, you know, the next time you bring it out to a game night, or if you do bring it out to a game night. I don't know if you're doing this for fun or for gaming or whatever, but you know, when your friends look at it and go, oh, look how pretty that is, you know. So yeah. Alrighty, next email is from our friend Ben Ellis. Here is my offering this week, Monkey Lord. Well, I thought I'd take my time and try to paint a little something fluffy on a slow time project. And getting most of it in the lines. Kind regards, Ben. And so, it's Ragnar Blackmane. And Ben is got such a great handle on dry brushing. I would often recommend, though, Ben, to dial back the dry brush. I would only do 2 colors dry brushing. I don't know how many colors you do go. It looks like you're probably doing about 2 or 3. But just because, like, you end up with that chalkiness, like you see on the end of the cloak. And now to mitigate some of that chalkiness, you could also, really get into smooth layering. Laying down a nice smooth base coat. But I mean, I'm not sure if you have a airbrush or not, but yeah. The other thing, as well as when you're dry brushing a vast majority of your work, is be careful of uniformly moving your brush across the surface. Like I'm looking at like the arm that's outreaching. I think more dry brushing should have been done on the upper portion of it, kind of like the zenithal type of idea, and less on the bottom so that you can see a color gradient. But yeah. But the work on the sword is really great. I really like your transition you got going on the sword and the cloak. It all looks really great. Nice and clean. I like you picked out all the little details and stuff. Got some glowy things going on there. Yeah, sorry, I'm just lost in the... I was lost in the moment looking at this. Oh, really nice work on the fur. Such nice texture there. Yeah, that's really cool. Very pretty, Ben. Yeah, with his hair, because Ragnar is supposed to be a bit young, isn't he? And I think I would probably go in with probably thinned out Black Templar or Nuln Oil, and very lightly resaturate his hair, bring a bit more of that blackness back into his hair. Just because from a distance, it feels like when I look at, say, like this picture here, let me go back to this picture here. His hair, there's no separation in intensity. Like there's really great texture going on, but like the armor and the sword almost feel like the same value, and his hair feels like the same value, and I feel like there should be a bit of a break there from the armor to his sword, so the eye has more to kind of play with. Yeah, I definitely would resaturate that hair. The highlights and everything like that are fine, and using something like a transparency definitely could help and basically just like resaturate those areas and, you know, really kind of bring that out, as it were. But awesome work, Ben. Thank you for sending that in. Really awesome stuff. Leo. It was something. The poor Dark Angel. The poor Dark Angel? Yeah. Oh, yeah. On Derek's piece? Yeah. What time are we at here? Oh, the Kermoli. We got time for another email. In fact, this will be my last email, actually. So, yeah, good stuff. Yeah. This one is from our good buddy Scott Radom. Lizards. Painted a few Blood Bowl lizards. Non-metallic metal is still mind-bending. Not easy. Hit me with the sage advice and crits. Have a good one, Kris. And so let's have a look at the Blood Bowl Lizard Man. I really, really like it. I always like the way Scott highlights. It kind of goes to off center from the way you imagine highlights typically. Non-metallic metal. I mean, like what you did on his bracelet, the squarish bracelet. That looks like really good non-metallic metal to me. That looks like non-metallic metal. On the shoulder pad, I think really like what it is you just need to push that contrast a little bit further. And I think to really bring out saturation in some points, using transparencies, so that when you are building up your color to a really bright point, you can bring a bit of that saturation back in and kind of unify those tones. Not all the way, but I think you kind of understand what I'm talking about there. I think you're going for that non-metallic metal on the ends of his, like the spikes on his tail and then on his crest and his helmet crest. Yeah, I think it really what you're looking for is the saturation. And like on the tail spikes, like that does not feel like non-metallic metal. And I think because the direction needs to be flipped of the brighter color. If I'm reading that correctly, like that should be gold. If I'm wrong, then obviously I'm wrong. But to the viewer, you should see brighter at the bottom. That's why typically with non-metallic metal, you always start deeper up at the high point and build to brighter down towards the bottom, but it's still having bright edging around a majority, especially white at the high points, because that's obviously where the brightest source of lighting is concerned, right? That's the shorthand of it. Also working out like horizon lines and things of that nature. Yeah, same with the horn. I think that's what it is. The direction needs to be flip-flopped. On the rings on his spine, they look mostly correct, but again, deeper color above, brighter down below, and bearing in mind the light sourcing, right? The highlights on the flesh and the scales, really great. Love the color. Yeah, I feel like the things on his tail, those are supposed to be gold. Because what you did on his bracelet, that square bracelet, that's right, like closest to the camera, that to me immediately reads as non-metallic metal. And you did it right. As far as every other example that I've ever seen of like a typical non-metallic metal look, that is it. Now, with non-metallic metal, oh, look at the little skinks. Really cool. Oh, they're little skinks. Yeah, I really like the colors on them. Really nice work. Nope. Doggy snoring. Oh, you're coughing? Are you throwing up? You better not be throwing up on me. Sorry, my dog. Coughing up a hairball or something, I don't know. If anybody heard that, probably like, oh, God, I'm going to get sick. But yeah, Scott, really nice work. But yeah, the shorthand of non-metallic metal is deeper color, transitioning to a brighter color. How far you push that is more dependent upon the angle of the part and what you're imagining the surface to be like. Is it really, really shiny? Is it kind of dented? Is it more brushed steel? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, there's all these different variables on how you can convey that idea of the non-metallic metal. And, oh, there we go. Scott is here. Okay. And it is gold on the tail. Okay. So, yeah, on that tail, you see how you went brighter up towards the peak? And you see, like, when you're looking at it from this, like here, well, see, this is why I need that drawing thing so I can illustrate this shit. Imagine that horizon line, right? So you imagine how the model's standing. Imagine that horizon line and build your transition that way. Now, for most of the time with non-metallic metal, you really aren't often factoring in the horizon line, but it does help convey that idea that that is a shiny reflective surface when you are maintaining how that transition builds. That's why you want to work on your horizon line, because that way you build that transition does matter, because if the transition runs like if your horizon line's like this and your transition runs this way, it looks visually confusing. Does that make sense? And also the way the angle of the way that surface is. Now typically when you're looking at non-metallic metal, if it's curving this way and the sky is here, to the viewer, a majority of it will appear brighter, right? So the entire plate might actually look brighter, versus if it's downward, very little, right? And it actually might get darker down by the bottom. But again, you can also factor in ambient. Now, this is why I'm not a huge fan of non-metallic metals, because non-metallic metals is applying illustrative painting to a 3D surface, which in essence is applying a 2D solution to a 3D problem. Does that make sense? Non-metallic metal, right, is for it was created in artworks, canvas artwork, right? And it looks great, but on a 3D surface, it only works from one or two perspectives, right? It doesn't have the same volume that true metallics will offer. And if you really want that non-metallic metal look, you can get that with true metallics and not lose the volume of the model, right? So you can still push these ideas. But yeah, I always equate non-metallic metal, a 2D solution to a 3D problem, right? It only looks good for box art. That's the only reason non-metallic metal looks good, is pictures and box art. For gaming pieces, stuff like that, not necessary. And yeah, so but if you're going to go with the non-metallic metal look, another thing, and I've seen quite a bit of this recently, is the ambient reflectivity of other surfaces. And with non-metallic metal, the reason why you see a reflection is the environment that it's in. Whereas unless you go with the shorthand version of it, and most of the time when people are talking about non-metallic metal, they're talking about a shorthand version of non-metallic metal, which is more akin to 80s style type of making something look metallic. You know, understand? Like imagine the old Metallica logo, right? That's the kind of non-metallic metal that we're talking about, right? Let me go with let's just go with 80s logo, right? Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Boom, easy peasy. So for example, let's look at that one kind of in the middle there, this ARC neon. That is a non-metallic metal. Or even this one here, made in the 80s, right? That's a non-metallic metal. Actually, I kind of like that style though. It's got the horizon. That one's actually kind of like a sky earth non-metallic metal. It has the horizon line. It also has the glint of reflectivity. But this is essentially what you're painting when you're painting non-metallic metal. You're going for this kind of look. Even the one in the upper, the arc neon, that's a sky earth, because it's got the blue in the upper portions and it's got the pink down below, but it's got the horizon line running through it. And everything else is kind of just a play off of this. And it's applying this theory to a three-dimensional surface. But what I am seeing a lot more of these days is people actually taking into account the ambient reflectivity. So, for example, if the guy's holding his helmet, and I've seen this example, I can't remember who the painter is, but he was doing a non-metallic metal, and the model's holding his helmet, and it has hair, but you could see the glow, the red glow from his hair in the metal. That is obviously going for more realism, but when viewing it from a different angle, that looks a little off. It looks like a bunch of red on the surface, right? Versus, you know, if it was a true metallic, it might not play that way. Of course, that's also, I've been, you know, playing with the chrome paint lately, and I've just been, you know, going bonkers over that stuff. So, where the hell my chat? There it is. So, yeah. So Scott, thank you for the email. Yeah, the shorthand of non-metallic metal: build your darker colors at the highest point, transition to brighter, and do a bright, even pure white, small, tiny edging along the peaks of it, and even at the bottoms. And, you know, it'll look like non-metallic metal. Where you did the bracelet, that is pretty much how non-metallic metal gets done. That's how it's done. So whatever you did there, that's what you do. Punisher Fan 123, I know it's off topic and you don't like discussing current events, but keep an ear open for unseasonal fireworks because apparently Antifa is planning a day of action today. Okay. And that's bad or good? The Heretic Scott. Hey, Kris. If you have time, would you be able to give us some feedback on what I posted in Work in Progress? It's just the tempered effect on the War Scythe I'm working on. I think it needs to be brighter. Oh, you posted it in the Discord. Sorry. Does it need to be brighter? The tempering on the blade or the little doodad? The techno doodad or the blade? I'll say the techno doodad. Yeah, it needs to push a little bit more to blues and a little less orange, more towards golds. You could actually even use just a gold color, like a gold paint, like a bright gold, if that's what we're talking about. I'm not 100% sure if that's what we're talking about, but yeah. Sorry, I'd pull up the Discord, but I don't have it attached, I think. No, that was on the other program I had that attached. Scott Radom, yes on tail. Punisher Fan 123. Do you have any of those old Rogue Trader era shark abhuman miniatures? I can't remember the name of them. No, I don't actually. Are any Rogue Trader era models? I think I have some orcs lying around. Like I have the old Weird Boys and Mad Boys. I have no idea where they are, but I know I still have them. Mad Boys and Weird Boys. I have a couple Runt Herders. Those are all Rogue Trader era. I'm trying to think what else I have. I know I have a couple Space Marines lying around that are Rogue Trader. But yeah. The Doodad, Heretic Scott. Yeah, the Doodad. Okay, yeah. You want to go for that heat tempered look? Really simply. Just if you're doing it silver, is just go with a gold. Slight gold. Transition out through magenta, purple, blue. And then typically I often go to a black, but that's like at the end of a gun barrel. I would go with a black, where that's like really kind of carbon, kind of tempered, and it's just kind of carbon scoring on it. And then I usually would give that a bit coloring. But yeah, go gold, magenta, purple, blue. How small that doodad is, it's really just kind of laying in just kind of thin bands. And yeah. I'm not sure. Are you doing it with opaque colors or are you doing it with clear colors? I don't know how you're doing that. See, this is why you got to send me an email. Got to let me know what you're doing, man. You got to fill me in. War Budgies. Hey, everyone. Hey, War Budgies. Punisher Man 123. Do you paint any non-miniature things like action figures? Yeah, actually, I'm still working on my Primaris Intercessor. I have another head that I'm going to do for this guy. I do have a video on how I painted the head, but I have not done any work on the Space Marine himself yet. I started converting up his gun. I added a bolt strap, and it's actual leather. So, but I am going to repaint the gun, and also his knife. I'm going to repaint. Those are actually, since I have the chrome paint out, I'm probably going to paint the metal in a chrome first, and then do like a slight bit of weathering. I also have all my paints ready to go. I'm just going to paint him up in Tamiya's. He's not going to get a lot of color variation because the surface is so big, and I am going to do him up as a Crimson Fist. But I also have an alternate head that I'm going to do for him, and yeah, I'm excited to get to this one. And in fact, I was thinking about for a Patreon video of working with green stuff and how I'm going to work with green stuff on that one. But yeah. And as far as like other projects, no, it is a lot of miniatures. I also have a big Cthulhu bust done by George. Oh, he's got a Greek last name. I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce it because I'll just end up insulting the man. But I also do like Bandai Star Wars kits and Gundam. I also have Gundam. Oh, I also have, which I gotta get back to work. My doggy's in the way. But I also have a World War II, what is it, Bulldog tank, American M41. No, that's not World War II. That's like end of World War II. That's Korean War. M41 Bulldog. But yeah, I'm a big modeler. Before I got into this hobby, I was into scale modeling, cars, and then I started watching a lot of sci-fi stuff, and I got into sci-fi, and I was really big into Star Wars. Well, I was into Star Wars since I was a kid, and I did a lot of Star Trek. The spaceships, painting all the windows. I used to have an Enterprise D, and I hand painted every window on it. Some light, some lit, some not. And it's crap comparison to what I could do now, but when I was a kid I thought, oh, it was freaking great, and it took me a long time. I took my time with that one. And then my cousins, when I was living up in Montreal, Quebec, my cousins who were older than me, they were teenagers, they were 15 I think at the time, and I kind of looked up to them because, the older, cool kids, right? And they were playing Warhammer 40,000. This was about 88. And, I was like, oh, wow, what's that? And they always kicked me out because I was, younger. I was only 13. And, oh, wow. So then I finally got into Space Hulk. Got the Space Hulk, and then it all spirals out of control from that point forward. Scott Radom, good thoughts. We'll continue to push on. Yeah, that it's really non-metallic metal is not to do the shorthand version like I was describing there. To do that shorthand version is not very difficult. It's a really simple theory. It's dark on top, builds to brighter, and you can edge it pretty much in a bright color, and it'll look like non-metallic metal. It's just how far you push color gradients versus the angle of the surface where you're imagining the light sourcing, right? Like, for example, like if you're imagining it's in a dark cave, then yeah, and it's like, say, lit on the ground, say it's lava, well then all your light sourcing would be different, right? But it'd just be, you just change the direction because the light sourcing is above. So you basically could paint it like upside down and build your color darker to brighter, right? I mean, that's all you had to do to change the direction of the light sourcing. Like, it's, and for the most part, most miniatures, the light sourcing is either directly under the model or directly above the model. But what I like about a lot of the things where obviously you're highlighting is you often highlight off to the side. And I see more and more of that nowadays, where the highlights are like a Space Marine where there's more light intensity on one shoulder pad versus the other. So it's imagined that the light sourcing is just off. It's kind of a Rembrandt lighting type of situation, which I'm digging. Because even myself, usually I just do it like an edging, or it's the light sourcing is directly above, But most of the time, I'm not painting up for display or anything like that, competition or anything like that. I'm usually not that concerned with it. And most of the time, I'm just painting to tabletop anyway. Most of the time, I'm just painting. Whenever I'm painting, I'm usually not painting for myself. I'm usually painting for all you guys, to help answering your questions. That's really what my painting is. All it is helping you guys. Punish Fan 123. My oldest mini are Chaos Marines and Slaanesh Marines from '92. The sculpts are usually as good as they're smaller, but the actual designs back then are really cool, and the weight feels nice. Yeah, well, I know. Like, yeah, I imagine you're probably one of them cats that prefers pewter models, and yeah, there's something to be said for that weightier type of model. Yeah, because I know like a bunch of my Eldar Guardians, they have pennies in the bases. They're super glued into the bases just for that weight, because they just feel too light otherwise. Yeah. But I mean, I've been gaming since models were lead. I mean, I have a Great Unclean one of the original Great Unclean. Well, I guess it's probably one of my oldest models. My Great Unclean one. Where is he? Where's my Great Unclean one? Come forth. Oh, here he is. Yeah. Here's my Great Unclean one. This guy's lead. He's lead. I can easily just bend him. But yeah, he used to have a sword. I modeled him with a sword. I thought it was really clever putting a sword in his hand, but anyway. Heretic Scott, I'm glazing it over bright metallic. The Lamenter's yellow and Bloodletter, etc. I do add a touch of bright metallic to each color to keep the metallic finish. You can also take your brightest metallic and thin it down. I would thin it with medium and do a light glaze on top, just to bring a bit of that metallic shine back into it. So you can even lay opaque color down and then lay the metallic on top to bring a bit of a sheen back to it. Where are you going? Where are you going? Doogie wants to just do laps in a circle around me. And she's not a small dog, she's kind of a big dog. But anywho, what was I talking about? Oh, right, the metallic finish. Yeah, so for creating that transition to the heat tempering, gold, magenta, purple, blue. Or you can just go gold, magenta, blue. But like I said, like for gun barrels, I would do just a bit of black at the end, and then just do either like a little bit of silver at the end of it, or a little bit of gray at the end of the gun barrel. And I would do that, so it looks like, it's full-on heat treating. Is that the direction? Yeah, it's gold, magenta, blue. Because the magenta and the blue, when they're overlapped, will look kind of purple, and that gives you that purpley tone. Realistically, more blue should be visible than magenta gold. So it actually should be more like... do I have an example of tempered metal? I don't have an example of it. Let me show you really quick. But anyway, really good examples of it. You'll see this around. You'll see just a slight rim of gold. You'll see that magenta purple, and then you'll see a larger bit of bluish tone to it, where it gets darker towards the end, which builds to a black, which is also why I built to a black at the ends. So, yeah. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's making sense. Have I done tempered steel on my channel? I don't know if I've done it. I know I've done it. I've shown it many, many times, but I know those were like quick tips and other tutorials. But I don't know if I've shown it as a fresh tip these days. If I haven't, then sorry. If I have, refer to that. Punisher Fan 123. That's sick. Is that a 112 Dwayne Johnson head sculpt? I'm doing up my unboxed one myself. Gave him a chest, rib cage, thigh bones, and skull face on his helmet with a healthy splattering of gore. Cool. You've got 1/6 figures, and I want to sculpt some gore onto them and set up some scenes as wounded, but I'm hesitant because the point of action figures is their versatility as far as scenes are concerned. Do you have any recommendations for glow paint? Those I've tried don't glow as well as hoped. I fear because the paints weren't intended for minis, I'll need to try that coin trick. Yeah, well, for putting the coin in the base, yeah. Glow paint? Now, are we talking about like proper, you put it under light and then take it in the dark and it glows? Or are we talking fluorescent paints? Fluorescent paints, I have been playing with Golden High Flow. There's, you get like a 3-ounce, 2-ounce bottle for like less than $10, and it's really, really bright. Just lay a white base down and then lay the fluorescents on top, and it'll be bright. And they got like a pink, blue, yellow, orange. orange. Yeah, an orange. The orange is really bright. Do I have the orange around? No, I don't have the orange around. I used the orange recently for something. I can't remember what it was. I know I've been using the pink lately on the Necrons. But yeah. I like the golden high flow though. The golden high flow is really good. Vallejo has one. By comparison though, the golden high flow is brighter. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see the latest little video or picture that I posted. It is the Necron Necron Royal Warden. All I did was I took a blue light, just put it behind the model, so everything has a blue cast, and already that was making the fluorescent paint glow. But then I took a black light torch, like a black light, like a little flashlight, and shone it right at it, and then took the picture, and it just made all that fluorescent just blast out from the model, and it looks like it's lit right up, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah. Ghost of Starman Deluxe, just use the GUO to bludgeon people. Just use that GUO. What's the GUO? Oh, the Great Unclean. Yeah, just whip it at somebody and just kill them up on manslaughter charges. Punisher fan 123. Sorry for hogging comment section. It's just cool to have actual interaction with an experienced, knowledgeable hobbyist. I've read your name before. You've been around before, haven't you? I'm pretty sure you have. I'm pretty sure I've read that name before. But yeah. Anytime. That's what this show. That's what this show was intended when it originally was made. Was that this was all about you guys, and it still is to this day. It's more goofiness nowadays, but it's about helping you guys, answering your questions, and just helping you guys and demystifying a lot of these things, because a lot of people seem to treat a lot of this stuff with an air of mystery. Ooh, how do you do this? Ooh, how do you do that? And it's really simple. This stuff is paint by numbers. Now you can always color outside the line. You can always use different colors, and like you can always break outside the norm. But when you have a good handle on how things typically occur, you can break the rules. It's like knowing the rules and know how to break them, right? It's that kind of thing. If that makes sense, I don't know. Heretic Scott, on my Lich Guard, I mostly use scale color alchemy metallics. I went from sepia yellow, then a touch of red, purple, then blue. Yeah, I don't think you need to go with that many, especially if you're going to work with a clear color. I don't know if you have contrast colors, but all you would need was, like, say, Vultuous pink and Talisar blue with a gold paint, and you would achieve that effect all the live long day. You just thin them out and just, create your light transitions, because the transparencies would allow the metallic to show through, and like the magenta and the blue would give you, like, when they lay on top of each other, you would see purple, right? So, it's work smarter, not harder, right? Let's paint smarter, not harder. Punisher Van, actually glowing, phosphorescent, glow in the dark, self-luminous stuff. Yeah, as far as that kind of paint, yeah, I've never really done that to any models. In my experience, usually you end up with like that kind of art brand type of paint, and it usually tends to be quite thick, and it's usually intended for like clothing and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not easy finding something like that that's designed for like a high pigment, low medium, right? Like high pigment, low viscosity medium, so that it flows onto a miniature very well. Although I'm thinking somebody like Testers in their enamel lines, you might find that kind of paint in an enamel or lacquer based paint, or even the alcohol based. I don't know if Tamiya does. I don't think Tamiya does. Humbrol might. I'm thinking either Testers or Humbrol might make a glow in the dark paint that's designed for model kits. What colors you're gonna find, I could not tell you. I don't even know if it is a thing, but that might be where you're heading, is more of like those kind of lines. And oftentimes, I personally prefer the alcohol-based and the lacquer-based paints for metallics and a lot of these really fancy colors, fluorescence and stuff like that. For metallics, like Humbrol, Spastics, who's another one? No, Testers. I haven't even played with a Testers metallic though. Anyway, those tend to be stronger because for whatever reason, the metal flakes that they use or the metal pigment, whatever it is that they're using, the suspension's far better than water-based acrylics. Because water-based acrylics, it kind of has to be kid-friendly. Whereas Tamiya metallics are really good too. Tamiya, Humbrol, you know what I mean? Like these alcohol and lacquer-based or enamel-based paints, they all are not really for young people. Even though I've been playing with Tester. When I started painting Warhammer miniatures, I was using Tester paints. You know, those little glass cubed bottles, those little glass bottles. I was using those and painting my miniatures. Tester's Ruby Red, I used to use that for blood effects on my miniature. I used to use a toothpick and then stipple the sword and drip it onto the base and stuff like that. I used to use that because it had a good transparency to it, and it had that deep red blood look. I used to use that for blood. Tester's Ruby Red. That's what I used to use in the little glass bottles. Just for anybody who gave a shit. Ebb and Flow, Wave the Brush, putting the F back in art. Putting the F back in the art? Alright. Heretic Scott, I actually ordered those contrast paints recently, so I'll try that in the future. I think if I overwork the doodad now, it's just going to go muddy. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to go muddy. You might have to actually lay the metallic down again and then try it again. Or just leave it and refine it on another model. Right? But yeah, if anybody remembers, Heretic Scott Lewis has doing those Necrons and was doing that really nice kind of tempered look on the blades and everything. It was really cool. You have to go back a couple episodes because I don't think we talked about it last episode. Henry Grove, hey Kris, how are you doing this afternoon, evening? It's afternoon for me. It's holy crap, it's 2 minutes to 2. Show's almost done. It's going good. It's a little warm. Probably hear my fans going as usual. Just trying to decide whether or not I feel like actually doing some work today or if I feel like goofing off. I actually have nothing to do. Wait, do I have anything to do? I'm thinking like first it goes honeydew list and then all my other crap like videos to film and oh wait no I do have some stuff to film and stuff I want to film. Not that I have to film it, but I want to film it. So yeah. Oh yeah, and I also just wanted to do like a little showcase thingy for the Royal Warden because he's pretty much done now. I did his base and everything. I did it on Getting Projects Done yesterday on Twitch. YouTube sees it like a week later, but yeah. I mean, I've always got like a bazillion different projects on the go, right? But everything's been, Indominus centric right now. I definitely will have to get into the Space Marines soon enough. I'm thinking I'll probably assemble the Space Marines and just do them as every other chapter kind of thing, just to, because I know people ask me, well, how do you paint this? How do you paint that? How do you do this? How do you do that? And invariably it comes up, and so maybe I'll do them. Just some fluffier type stuff, right? Whereas the Necrons I've been sticking with the theme as I work through them, and I've been having fun. And I think it's because it's a departure from the usual stuff I work on, either my own miniatures or, other projects. I mean, I definitely want to get back to my Space Marine here, because, I mean, I've got the other head that I want to get done. I have some ideas that I want to do, and yeah. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm posing him. There we go. He's got his dukes up. Put him up. Put him up. Anyway, I sit here and just play with my action figure. And actually, the local store, Max Aggression, he got a couple more in. And I was like, oh yeah. It's like, no, better not. But maybe. But no. But maybe. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. If I recall, there are companies that sell pure glow-in-the-dark pigment. Might be possible to use that in some way. I don't know. Yeah, glow-in-the-dark pigment. Sure, because you could add your medium or whatever it is you want, right? But as far as, getting your hands on that pigment, I don't know. See, because I don't know if there's any kind of health concerns associated with using those paints, right? So, I can't advise it. I would recommend whatever is ready to use. But oftentimes, like I said, those kind of paints are, whenever I've seen the glow-in-the-dark paints, they're usually for like fabric work and stuff like that. It's usually never really any kind of models are done with glow-in-the-dark paint. So I don't know. It's something I'd have to look into. So Punisher fan, I'm sure that's not terribly helpful, but it's something I will look at, and maybe I'll do a video on it. Maybe I'll find something and it's it's reasonable, and I'll make a video on it. Just send me an email saying, Kris, remember what the glow-in-the-dark paint? Did you find anything? Make a video on it, and I'll make a video on it. Just say, Kris, make a video on it, and I'll make a video. Just do it like a genie. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Punisher fan 123. I'll have to check out testers. Spastics and Humbrawl then? Yeah, Spastics it's for like RC. Hold on here. This is mirror chrome. This is what I've been painting the Necrons in. Is this stuff. This is a it's alcohol based. Pretty sure it's alcohol, because I just use alcohol to clean my brushes, and if I brush this on, which I don't really highly recommend, airbrush is really the best way to lay this stuff down. But yeah, like you see how nice and shiny that is up here? That's how it finishes. Like it's that level of chrome. See, it's almost mirror, right? It's like that's the stuff. Tamiya, Testers. Testers has got an enamel based. Humbrawl is an enamel based. I don't know if they have an acrylic base. I don't know. See, I don't really play with Humbrals too often. Another one is God, I can't remember the name now. There's another paint line. They do really great metallics and stuff. But usually, when I'm looking for really great metallics, yeah, you got to go outside of water-based acrylics, because water-based acrylic metallics, when you do a side-by-side with paint lines that are not water-based acrylic, yeah, you see why they're far superior, and they often finish much smoother and thinner on the surface, and they give you such a nice metallic finish. That's why the scale modeling and stuff like that. That's why they still use that stuff, because it's. What is that damn paint line now? It's not Humbrawl. Allclad. Frick. That's it. See, nobody shouted it out at me. Come on. Allclad. Allclad's another one. They do a chrome. Apparently it's supposed to be top notch, but apparently you got to buff it. And somebody was asking me about the Spastics if you got to buff it, and I've never had to buff it, but the last couple models I did, I noticed that there was a little bit of a like a powder almost on the model. And I just use my cloth. You could use like a microfiber cloth and wipe the surface, and it looks fantastic. But yeah, but I've never had to like buff the metallics before. Interesting. But mind you, though, it's been getting pretty humid and such around here, and I'm wondering if that's maybe that's the issue. Is it's a humidity issue. And of course, I usually chalk up any kind of problems like that. It's usually either PSI or distance from model. If you work too far away, it gets really chalky. If you're too close, obviously it fills the gaps and obscures details, that kind of stuff, right? So, but anyway, FS Draconis. If you had a semi-large miniature you wanted to paint in a synthwave color spectrum, how would you suggest color-wise with how to go about it? Well, I do it by airbrush, and if you're going to do it synthwave color spectrum, like I was showing just a moment ago, as far as doing these kind of 80s type of logos, like this is the kind of thing we're talking about here. Where am I here? Like this kind of stuff. I mean, pick your poison as far as what color scheme you want to go for, and kind of just start basing it. typically the way I often work with color schemes these days and laying down color is I will start with whatever I perceive as the mid-tone, and I'll build to the darker tones, and I'll build to the brighter tones. That way, I don't have to lay too many layers of paint down. Because when you start at one extreme of the spectrum, right? So if you start off really dark, you prime everything black, and you want it really, really bright. Well, you're laying down a whack ton of layers of paint to build to the bright. And vice versa. If you start off really, really bright, and you want it to build to really dark, you got to lay down a whole bunch of dark layers to build down to a dark layer, right? Creating all the color gradients in between, of course, right? Is what I'm talking about. Where, excuse me. Whereas starting in the middle, right? Your base coat is the mid-tone, and just push to the brightness, and you push to the darkness, and you're not laying quite as much down. At least to me, it doesn't feel that way. And it also allows you to determine whether or not you're in the right direction as far as where you want to go with it, versus starting off really, really dark, and then you build up and you go, oh, it's not bright enough. So then you build a little brighter, and it's like, oh, well, this doesn't work anymore, and this, you know what I mean? And same with building down to brightness. And, you know, it's just starting at the middle, build up, build down. You know, I often look at it in like kind of like photography terms. Like you go for middle exposure, go 2 stops down, 2 stops up. And yeah, that's kind of the way I look at it. But as far as doing like the synthwave 80s kind of style, yeah, pick something that kind of, you know, is the color scheme that you want to go with. And, you know, it's like, it's really broad as far as how you want to handle it, what kind of paints you use. Because if you want to use the fluorescent colors and stuff like that, well, then that's a perfect opportunity, an excuse to use those kind of colors for those kind of examples. But yeah, it's kind of what you're painting, what kind of colors do you want to use, you know, and how you want to go about it. Like, what are you trying to convey with it, right? So, yeah. Anyway, crap, where am I? James Kent, would mixing phosphorescent powder with medium work? I don't see why it wouldn't. The only thing is, though, is will it work for a miniature? Because the powder, depending upon how fine that pigment is, right? Because if the pigment is like talc powder, where, you know, if you have your container of it and you just tap it and you see it just wisp upwards, like, that's how I know that's a really good pigment, is that it's because the particles are so fine that the air can pick it up and carry it away, right? Not quite like an evaporation, but you know what I mean? Like, when I like Vallejo pigments, I really like Vallejo pigments because it's like talcum powder. It's a very, very super fine, and all you gotta do is add medium to that and you have the colored paint. And I don't know if any phosphorescent powder is that to that fine degree. You know what I mean? So I have no idea. It's actually something I've not done a lot myself. It's something to look into. Painting our models, you know, glow in the dark. I don't know how many people are actually playing in the dark, but at Adepticon, there was a game. It was a big, massive apocalypse game, and they had the lights off and the table all lit. And it had little neon signs. They actually had LCD screens for like billboards and stuff like that. It had like this whole Blade Runner vibe going on all over the place. They had an airport with the runway lights. It was a fantastic looking table. Of course, there's people drinking all over the place, and there was like a couple making out, and you know what I mean? Like, it was like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm into it. But yeah, that's Adepticon for you, though. Don't get me wrong, Adepticon's great, and I'm sad that we don't get to go this year. Hopefully next year, but who knows? That might even get pushed back again. Henry Grove, sound good to me. I sent you an email for next week. It's 7 o'clock here. Cool. Heretic Scott, I don't believe you've done a video on tempering. I've watched a lot of your tutorials, but I don't remember seeing that. I know I've done them on for quick tips for mini wargaming. I know I've done that. But I don't know how long you've been a Vault member. And there's like 1,000 videos there, so, you know, there's a lot of tutorials. Because I know I've done it. I know I've shown it with a Punisher cannon on a Lehman Russ. And I did even the ends of the barrel glowing. Like I made the end of the barrels look like they were glowing, and it was all heat tempered. Yeah. And you know the Punisher cannon on the the Lehman Russ has a Punisher cannon. Yeah, because I mean that seemed to make the most sense to me that it would be glowing at the end of the barrels. Basically, I was imitating. I think like it was like Wolfenstein or Doom or something like that. I saw that effect and I was like, oh wow, do that. So anyway, but yeah, I know I've done the heat tempering before, but if I haven't shown it in a long time, then I guess it's time to show it again, right? Inquisitor and painting the great enemy. If you them up, who cares? They're the enemy. Dark Commission. Chiltern Arts neon acrylic paint set of 6 colors, 13 on Amazon is one example. Send me a link, Dark Commission. I'll have a look. Punisher fan. This is the best show to help with this hobby I've seen. Thanks for always replying helpfully and being genuinely entertaining and wholesome. I don't know about wholesome. I take back that wholesome thing. You might have missed the beginning of the show where we were talking about whether or not we need more boobs in the games or less. I don't know. I think more, but not like Slanesh type fiend. The fiend, the warp fiend. I'm not talking more boobs like that. Like every model just has like 15 boobs going on. I'm not talking about that. Like an odd number of boobs. If you're going to have lots of boobs on something, should you have an even or odd numbered of boobs? Which is worse? Odd numbered? I think odd number boobs. Because that just looks weird, right? Whereas even numbers, I mean, it's okay. You can get over that, right? An even number? Punisher fan 123. Also, and suggestions for my Bandai figure. I posted in the Work in Progress channel on the Discord. Awesome. Yeah, did you? Sweet, man. I didn't see. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Okay, well, send me an email with those pictures, and I will read them next week. That's freaking cool, man. Yeah, send me the pictures. Send me pictures in the email. Kris at Way of the Brush. It's in the description. Yeah. That's wild, dude. That's wild. That is weird and wild. Draconis. Yes. Thank you very much for the advice, Kris. No problem. I hope it kind of helps. I know it's a pretty broad kind of idea, like to go with the synthwave kind of thing. But it's kind of dependent upon what you're painting, what kind of color scheme you want to go with, right? So just type in 80s synthwave kind of stuff. You'll see a bunch of color suggestions, and just find whatever kind of logo or design kind of speaks to you as far as like what colors. Look at the colors, and then work out how you want to employ those colors on the model. And then then of course if you really want to go with neons, like neon fluorescent colors, then use fluorescent colors. Punisher fan. Odd or even is unimportant. What matters is quantity. Grim, I agree. Adepticon is a blast. It is a blast. It's always a blast. A lot of fun. And you know what? I honestly man, it's a shame that we couldn't go this year, man. And I hope we get to go next year. But who knows? The talk is not good. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Never less boobs. Sometimes less is more. But with boobs, more is more. Well, you can't argue with that logic. Heretic Scott. What about the 3-boob lady in Total Recall? Yeah, that looks weird. It's uneven. Whereas if she had 4. But see, if you had 4 boobs, right? Would they be like 2 pairs of 2 like that? Or would it be like, like a dog where they're kind of lined up? I would assume that, if a human had 4 boobs, they would be more like every other mammal on this planet, right? Because no other mammal has the rows running this way. They're always running this way to the body, right? So more boobs would be more down this way. I'm getting freaked out now, but it's all very disturbing to me. Actually, I'm getting a little freaked out actually now. Dark Commission. I like 3 boobs, 1 for each hand. Huh? Greg Gurman, what about the wet nurse from Kingdom Death? What about it? It's got a whole bunch of boobs, doesn't it? Yeah, it's. I think it's got like boobs where like its shoulder should be and stuff like that, right? That was a great model. I still kind of kick myself in the ass for not picking that one up. Now I know there's two versions of the wet nurse from Kingdom Death, but the big scary monster thing, that one is just too awesome. Whereas there's one that's more like a pin-up, which is cool too. But yeah, Kingdom Death's got some really great models. I have one actually. I started working on and I haven't finished, and yeah, it's a little ammo slave. I think I'm actually going to strip it and repaint it, and I think I'm going to paint it on as a tutorial, because I don't do enough flesh videos, and I'm not 100% happy with where I was going with the flesh currently on this model, and so I'm thinking that I might strip it and repaint it. But yeah, I have this little ammo slave that I've been wanting to get finished. I've had her base done for like ages. I've had the base done, ready to go. So yeah. Anyway, I think we're pretty much done here, right? Punisher fan, what if each nipple had a smaller boob? Oh, like boobception? Like it's like a boob and then a boob and then a boob and a boob? Yeah, I almost sounded like I was gonna bust into a song there. A boob and 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 a boob. Probably doesn't help with the mime either, right? Boob and a boob and a boob and a boob. Old man Logan, I have the Kingdom Death pinup wet nurse waiting for your sheer fabric video to paint it. Yeah, that would be a good one too, right? See, I don't have that model. Now, I thought that model, I thought they did it in a 54 mil. Is it a 54 mil or is it a 28 mil? Because I thought there was a bigger version of it. Because I thought for a while they were producing models that were like 54 mil. But yeah. Anyway, Kevin Cabal, fractal boobs, fractal boobs, boob 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 boob. Ghost Star Red Deluxe, better than dicks where the nipples would be. Hoof. All right, we're getting weird now. Old man Logan, 28 mil. It's 28 mil. See, I thought Kingdom Death had a line of 54 mils. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Because Kingdom Death would be great in a 54 mil scale. Like some of the models, especially like the pinup stuff. Oh yeah, that'd be great. Could really take your time and build the color blends and stuff. That'd be great. Oh wait, they have done a 54 mil version, but the basic one on the website is 28 mil. Ah, okay, so they do have a 54 mil. The wet nurse, not the big monster one, but the pinup, right? Yeah. Yeah, doing the wet nurse with sheer fabric. That'd be cool. Because I have that Pathfinder video, the model that I did for the blonde hair a few months ago. She has this nice long flowy dress, and I was thinking about painting her dress like a sheer fabric. I was thinking about doing that. I think that'd be kind of fun. Kevin Cabal, I'm trapped in an infinity boob loop. Do not send help. Boob da 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 boob boob. Yes. I sound like Swedish Chef having a stroke. Boob da boob da boob da boob da boob da boob da boob. Fruit da boob da boob da boob da boob. Fruit da boob and then the boob da 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 boob. If you're brand new to this hobby and you're looking for a little bit of help, or you need some advice on a paint color scheme or particular technique, send your questions to Kris at wayofthebrush.com. It's in the description below, as well as a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness has links to the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversations rolling there on Discord, so feel free to join us. It's a nice little community. Everybody's pretty helpful, and it's been a very long time since we've had any troublemakers. So if you're looking to start up any kind of shit in my server, don't, because I'll just immediately ban you, and so just don't do it. Wayofthebrush.com also has links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, tastefully, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. And of course, you'll also find a link for Patreon support. I'm independent these days, and this is pretty much how I keep this channel running. It's how I keep the lights going, and you can see I only have a few lights going. And you want to help the channel, help me continue to grow. I do have goals as far as where we're heading, so if you want to help me attain these goals, Patreon is how it's going to happen. And so a huge thank you to everybody who currently does support me, and a huge thank you to everybody who is about to support. And of course, there are varying tiers to support at, so pick whatever one sounds good to you. And there are perks and such to the various tiers, so have a peruse and look. And of course, if you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, clicking thumbs up, liking, following, sharing, and subscribing, and ringing the bell, all that stuff, all that usual social media, YouTube stuff, and Twitter, darn Twitch, that all helps as well. And all it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping out tremendously. Sharing the video and commenting and thumbing up the video, like all that interaction, that does help me, because that even just saying, oh, great video, it seems kind of pointless and such, but that actually is interacting with the video, and that actually pushes it out to other people who might be of similar interest as you and I. And so, it helps us connect with other like-minded goofballs who like hearing about Swedish chef stroking out on boobies. A big thank you always to Carl, aka Guymere Alfer, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. It's his YouTube channel. Check him out. Support his efforts on what he was doing. I don't know if they're going to continue it, but we always take time to thank Carl for taking the time out of his busy time to create the email jingles that play before the email segments of the show. Of course, he's no longer with us, but always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan, aka EB Comics. If you're into rare comics, check him out, ebcomics.com. Always much love to him for creating the intro outro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. And so always much love to my baby brother Evan. So yeah. Ghost Starman Deluxe. I remember earlier this week when Stinky was making jokes about way people count on their fingers, and you thought he was starting shit. That was hilarious. Yeah, I don't know what he was on. It's because sometimes I don't go all the way back in the Discord. So like I see something and I'm like, what is he fucking talking about? He sounds like he's off his meds. He sounds like a goddamn crazy person. And then when I ask him about it, he replies with crazy ass responses, and I'm like, that doesn't help his case at all for the potentially being a nutball, which I'm sure he is, because to some degree we're all kind of nuts, but but it's fine. I mean, but I just need to check in every once in a while, because sometimes the people are like, what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? And there is channels for talking crazy crap. The general channel, we're usually talking about this or that, right? But when you start going off into weird directions, it's like, take this conversation into the weird channel. Like, anyway, Mad Hoser, am I late? Are you late? Like, for your period? Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? Congratulations! You're... Is it mine? Yes to all the above. It's mine? Documentary will come later. Alrighty, folks. I'm gonna head out. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of my day. I don't think I have anything to do on my honey-do list, and but I do have things to film, so I think I'm gonna try and get to some of those things. This is usually just kind of auxiliary type crap that just you gotta try and get to, and so yeah. The Heretic Scott, good old Stinky. His favorite line: "I don't translate well into text." Yeah. Old Man Logan, as a dad, every once in a while you just need to go off a little for no reason. Got to keep the monkeys on their toes. Yeah, exactly. You just kind of come in, just, hey, what's all this noise about? Yeah, I'm sure everybody's had that moment when you were having fun with your friends and your dad bust into the room and went, what the hell's all this about? And you're like, and meanwhile you guys were just talking about, baseball cards or something like that, right? And so something completely innocent, and yeah, just you just got to come busting back into the server every once in a while. What the hell are you talking about? What's going on here? You know, just kind of just put the fear into everybody. Oh man, Mad Hoser, powder your forehead. The glare blinds you. Oh, it's because I'm sweating, dude. It's warm in my basement, man. Thanks for noticing, though. Goes to Starman. That all sounds about right. Yeah, he just comes flying into the room. What the hell's going on here? Dad, we're just, you know. And you always have, when you're a kid, I'm sure you don't see it, but your dad or your mom, whoever usually is cracking the whip in your house, because it can fall to either one, right? Whoever's cracking the whip and disciplines the kids, yeah, usually when you come in and you catch them right away like that, usually they're like you know, the deer in the headlights kind of thing. It's like you know, and they're trying to process what's going on because they don't know if they're in trouble or not, and they're like they're trying to think of a lie, right? That's what it is. It's like does not compute, need escape route, and you know, so yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun messing with you. When some of you that are, you know, not old enough yet and are looking to be parents one day or looking forward to being parents one day, yeah, that's one of the things you get to enjoy is freaking your kids out, and of course embarrassing your kids as well. I do that whenever I can, although my son now, he's not a kid anymore and he doesn't really get embarrassed. In fact, he acts like a goofball when we go to the grocery store or whatever, and he's, you know, walking down the cereal aisle and he acts like, you know, a complete ass basically. But my daughter, though, I can easily embarrass her. In fact, it could be just us in the room and she's embarrassed. I don't know, but you know, daughters, I guess. Anywho, yeah, we're done. Did we learn anything? I have no idea if we learned anything. I don't think we did, other than boobs. But I don't think any of us need to know whether boobs were good or bad, right? I mean, boobs, I think, are always like 99.9% in the good category, no matter what we're talking about, as far as, you know, whatever, they're usually, boobs are always good. And I think everybody can agree boobs are good. Take care of those brushes, they'll take care of you, and I will see you guys next week. Will I? Yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Maybe.